Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, and today is going to be another TBR video because there's another read-a-thon coming up, and I can't say no to read-a-thons apparently. Especially if they have to do with retellings, because I love retellings. It's another retelling, well it's not retelling, it's a fairy tale retelling read-a-thon called Fairytale-a-thon, and it's being held by some really cool people. I can't think of them all on the top of my head. All I know is that Erica is one of the co-hosts. And Bird and a Bee. Okay. Anyway, so I link all the hosts down below because I can't honestly think of who else a host for this. I'm sorry, my brain is still like fried from like my 13-hour drive back from Colorado. And it's taking place from August 13th to August 20th. So this read-a-thon actually has 7 prompts to it. And normally I'm pretty good about following prompts. Normally the only one I kind of don't do is if they have a group book. I don't normally read the group book, which I'm not going to read the group book for this one. But I actually had some trouble picking books for it because I just don't have any books that fit the certain prompts. And also I just kind of don't want to have to spend any more money on more books than the ones I already own that like I need to read. So yeah. Anyways. Let's jump into this. Prompt number 1 is modern myths. Read a fairy tale, whether original or a retelling that was published in 2018 or 2017. I don't own any. I mean, I own one, but I'm in the middle of reading it, and I will definitely have finished it by the time this video goes live, and that is The Surface Breaks by Louise O'Neill. Prompt number 2 is tale as old as time. Either reread a favorite or read a retelling of one of your favorite fairy tales. And if you watched my Retelling vlog, which I'll have linked up here if you want to watch it, I read 2 retellings of my favorite fairy tale, and they were both kind of disappointing. So, and I do have one more book that's like loosely a Sleeping Beauty retelling. But I decided I'm going to use this to reread a book I've been meaning to reread anyways. And I'm going to be rereading Entwined by Heather Dixon. This is a retelling of The 12 Dancing Princesses, which was a story I was not really familiar with to begin with. I didn't even know it was a fairy tale. I thought it was just a Barbie movie. Apparently it's a fairy tale. But I read this in 2015 maybe, and it was for a book club that I was partially in charge of that is now very long since dead. Shout out to you, Austin, for still talking to me. But this was one of our group picks back then, and I actually really enjoyed this, and I loved the writing style and the way it was like told. So I've been meaning to reread it, and I definitely want to reread it, and I also found out there's an audiobook for it. So this just gives me a complete excuse to reread it because I've been meaning to reread this because I love this book. Prompt number 3 is, what is a fairy tale without fae? Read a book with fae or set in a fae world. And I have a Holly Black book at home that I haven't read, but again, I'm not home, I'm here, so I've had to kind of improvise because I really wanted to read a book that was mostly set in a fae world or dealt a lot with fairies, but all of my fairy books apparently are at my house and not here. I'm gonna do whatever next book in the Shadowhunter series I'm on at that point. Right now I'm not in the middle. I've read like 100 pages of City of Lost Souls. This is book 5 in the Mortal Instruments series. Question number 4 is out your own front door. Read a fairy tale, original or retelling, from a heritage that is not your own. Now, it's kind of hard, just a little bit, because I am part German, so a lot of the fairy tales that we know really well are actually German fairy tales. I know that's not hard, but like a lot of the retellings that I own are also based off German fairy tales, so it's like, do I have anything I could use for this? And I do, and I totally forgot I brought this with me. So I have Once by Kim Daki. This actually is a combination of 3 retellings, and the very last retelling in this one is called Wild Orchid, and it is a Mulan retelling, and obviously Mulan is an Asian fairy tale lore myth. And prompt number 5 is No Damsel Here, a story where the female saves the day, essentially. And again, I'm going for another book in this, and this is actually the second book in here, and it's called Golden, and it is a Rapunzel retelling, but she can't grow her hair and she has to break a curse and save the day essentially. So it sounds really cool and I really want to read it. And the other book in here is Before Midnight, and I believe it's a Cinderella retelling. But again, I just have to read it to get through to the others books, but you know. I'm excited to read these. I've actually owned this for a while, and I specifically bought it because it was retellings, and I just haven't gotten around to reading it, so I'm excited to read it. Prompt number 6 is The Road Not Taken, a retelling, a fairy tale, retelling, or original that has been on your TBR for a really long time. And this one is actually rolling over from the Retelling-a-thon that happened a couple weeks ago. And I'm going to continue reading the Grimm's fairy tales. Obviously, I probably will not finish this, but I want to read some more of the short stories in here because I've really enjoyed the ones that I've read so far, and I want to continue with it. And this is also, like I said, I'm German, and the Grimm's fairy tales are German, so I've been needing to read this, and I've owned this book for 4 or 5 years. And prompt number 7 is Mary Crew Read the Group Book, which is Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. And definitely this would be something I'm really into because I love mermaids and anything to do with the sea. And I think it's kind of like a Ursula origin story, maybe, I don't know, don't quote me on that. I think that's what it is, but it might not be. But again, I'm broke and I'm saving for trips, so I can't afford to be like spending money. And also my TBR is humongous and I really want to cut down on the books I already own. So I'm not gonna read it, but if you read it and like enjoy it, please let me know so maybe I can pick it up at another point. So that is it for my TBR for Fairytale-a-thon. Please let me know down below if you're planning on participating. Let me know the books you're planning on reading, or if you've created a TBR video, please link it down below because I would love to go check it out and see what you're planning on reading. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and until then I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye!